Hi everyone, my name is Mary Beth. Welcome to my channel. So I've decided to do a bunch of these quick twin flame, you know, because it's such a difficult journey, kind of like uplifting messages during the week. And I think I do them for myself as well. And I think I started doing it because there's so many talented readers out there, and I would go on these channels because as you know, this is a fifth dimensional journey. And so there's nothing that can really show you in the third dimension as to what's making progress and what's not when it comes to the twin flame. And so we go on these other, channels and we look and see what's happening. And so what I've been noticing, because I like to go on the comments too to see how everyone's doing. And I think lately I've been seeing more and more, a lot of suffering, a lot of heartache, a lot of people giving up, a lot of people upset. And, it really breaks my heart to see all these comments. So I decided that I would start doing this during the week to kind of uplift people and kind of get out of that lower vibration that can easily take over you being on this journey. And a lot of the times when we're not imbalanced, you know, in our own divine feminine and our own divine masculine energies, and we don't treat it like our own divine feminine and our own divine masculine energies, then we become out of balance. And the more we become out of balance, the more we have this yearning for another person in the 3D. And the reason why this is happening, this yearning, is because it's teaching us to focus on ourselves, because when we focus on ourselves, then that will take away the energy that you're nurturing from your divine counterpart. So when you're constantly thinking about your divine counterpart, you're nourishing their energy. But when you put it on you and you nurture yourself and you're putting all of your thought processes on yourself, your focus on yourself, now you're nourishing your own energy, and now there's a void with that counterpart. I know it sounds weird, but because we're all one, they feel that void. They feel like, oh, this person's not thinking about me anymore, and they feel this void, and then they start putting their direction and attention on you. Like all of a sudden this pathway opens. It's almost like the energy drops. It's so weird, I know, because I mean, it's, and I know how this works even in regular, it doesn't even have to be a twin flame relationship. It's any relationship that you're in. If you notice, if you feel like, if you have this energy of, oh, I want you, the person kind of puts up a wall. But the minute you kind of say, you know what, I don't care. I don't care about being in this relationship. I'm walking away. Then they're all, what's going on? How come you don't want me? It's like they feel the energy. They feel the energy shift. And then it's almost, like on steroids with the twin flame journey, where they feel that as well. And it's just kind of balancing your own inner divine and inner divine feminine and inner divine masculine energies. And then the other thing is that it's trying to teach us the illusion of separation. It's trying to make us think we're so separated, and that, oh, we're, instead of saying in union, we're in separation with our twin flame. And so it's trying to get us out of the 3D and into the 5D. And it's hard for people, it's hard for them to shift. And once they finally make that shift from the 3D to the 5D, then they don't feel that suffering anymore. And they realize there's really no such thing as separation. And I'm not really separated. And it's all inside of me. My divine feminine and my own divine masculine is inside of me. And I'm integrating that inside of me. And then that manifests in the 3D. So that's how that works. So anyway, so I decided to do these uplifting readings for everyone, and I'm going to try to do it almost daily. I work a full-time job, so I just do like a bunch in a row during the weekend, and then I'm trying to be a good channel and release stuff as much as I can, whether it be daily or every other day. And so, let me know, what works, what doesn't work, or what's helpful, what's not helpful. That would really help me out too. But anyway, let's go ahead and look at what we got. And I'm just going to shift it over. I don't like being in the video, to be honest, but I figured it's just a bit more relatable when I am. Okay, so the first card you got is surrender to the wisdom of your body. So it says, listen to your body's messages about a person or situation. If you feel physically drained or uncomfortable, be cautious. If you are energized and happy, move forward. Yep. So your body does keep talking to you, and if a person does physically drain you, or if there's a situation that physically drains you, they're asking you to listen to your body. If you know, but if you feel energized, there are people who are gonna energize you, and then there are people who are gonna drain you, and so it's a way of just kind of watching your own energy. And also, what they're telling me to tell you is that because your left side is your divine feminine and your right side is your divine masculine, you'll also feel things in your body, and pay attention to those messages. So, oh, that's my dog. Sorry. so, so let's say you have a pain on the right side of your body, and I don't know, let's just say it's like, I don't know, in the middle of your back. So what you'll know is that that's happening on your divine masculine side of you. And so you have to figure out what's going on. And then if you do the emotion code, or I guess there's many different ways of doing it, of figuring out what trapped emotion is there, and then you can help heal it. But you'll also learn a lot about your divine masculine, or if you're the divine masculine, you'll learn a lot about your divine feminine. By doing that, by listening to your body, by noticing what's going on in your body, and knowing that your left side has to do with your divine feminine and your right side has to do with your divine masculine. And whenever there's like trapped emotions, it really tells a story of what's really happening, and it really gives you like a bird's eye view. Because, and like I said, in the 3D on this journey, you don't you don't notice anything. It's just blank. I don't know. I mean, maybe you do, but I don't. There's no affiliation whatsoever. There's nothing, no signs in the 3D. It's all 5D. Okay, so the next card you got, and I'm not at all. I don't. I'm just not good at sorry, I'm not good at pronouncing names. So I'm just gonna say this says Zhu Huan's Jing. So it says, the mystic of peace. I am peace. When my mind is clear, the way is clear. And it's so funny that I pulled this card. And the reason why is because just today I had a moment. So let me just move the camera over. So just today, so I don't know if you go through this too. So when your mind is clear, that is when you're in your intuition, and you're in your knowing, and you're in the fifth dimension. But when you start overthinking and you start thinking about things and thinking, and then you put yourself in a lower vibration, now you're stuck in the third dimension. Now you know. And so I did this to myself this morning. It was very interesting. I noticed there was this meetup. There's this meetup. I don't really attend meetup groups, but there was one that I attended. And I guess I signed up for it because lo and behold, that's where I met my twin flame. So anyway, it still goes on monthly, but I haven't gone in a while, and my twin flame hasn't gone for a while. So anyway, I started overthinking the situation because it kind of put me back in that whole, should I go? Should I not go? I don't want, to be reminded of anything. And it really put me in a spiral of overthinking. And then I stopped myself and I'm like, what are you doing? I said, you're just putting yourself more and more in a hole, and more in the third dimension by overthinking a situation that doesn't even matter. And I was letting my third dimensional counterpart take my power away in a way, by me thinking, should I just, quit the meetup? Should I just, delete it? Should I not, should I just not be a part of it and just take myself off? And I had to stop myself and say, no, that that meetup group I joined long before he did, and that twin and I'm sorry, and that meetup group was something that my girlfriend started. And so I thought, you know what? If I want to go, I'm going to go, and if I don't want to go, I'm not going. And I'm not going to allow a situation to overtake me, empower me, and I'm not going to overthink it. And the minute I cleared my head and I said, it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Who cares? Just get out of this matrix. Because the minute I started overthinking, I kept saying, I'm making myself off centered. I'm making myself imbalanced just by thinking about something that should have no power over me. It should have zero power over me. And, it shouldn't even matter what my twin flame does in the third dimension. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. It has nothing to do with me. So, like, I'm getting out of the matrix, and that's what I'm focusing on. I'm focusing on getting out of this matrix. And the way I have to do that is to get out of my head. And the minute I talked to myself out of it and I said, stop, and I stopped thinking about it, I had peace and acceptance, and I just had peace about it. And then I'm like, okay, I'm glad this happened because maybe this is something I need to talk about. And then when I pulled this card, that was clarity that I needed to talk about it because I'm sure a lot of people go through this where you're feeling good about everything and you're feeling pretty strong and empowered. And then the next minute, something happens, something hits your email, and now you're overthinking and you're over analyzing, and then you're giving your power away. Like I literally was giving my power away, and that's not being the divine feminine. The divine feminine doesn't give her power away. The divine feminine's in her knowing, and she knows what's what, and doesn't let fear creep up in her mind, or his mind, or their mind. And so anyway, so this card is about, I am peace, and when my mind is clear, the way is clear. Because without a clear mind, um, without a clear mind, you're probably not at peace. You're probably more scattered, and you're probably feeling more nervous, apprehensive. You're probably feeling probably disempowered just by your own thoughts. Your own thoughts disempower. And our thoughts, that's what gets us in trouble, and that's what puts us back into the third dimension. And then when we calm our minds and we are at peace with the situation and we use our intuition and we're in our knowing of like how to empower ourselves and what's really important. I mean, it really wasn't like what I was talking about. Was it really that important? Who cares? Who cares if I go to a meetup? Who cares if I don't go to a meetup? Who cares if I stop going? Who cares if I keep going? I mean, it's just this world's about me, right? It's like whatever's inside of me is being reflected outside of me. It doesn't matter what other people do. It's just this whole journey is about me. And so I had to remind myself because it's a constant battle, I think, for a lot of people, including myself. So I love this card. So another way to uplift yourself is to go into acceptance and peace with how things are. It's almost easier for people when they just accept, like let's say their twin flame's already married and has kids and all that stuff, which I know that's very painful for people. But it's almost like they just have this acceptance of they're married. That's so and that's that. Next. Let's move on. It's almost like you just have that peace and you just have that acceptance and you're just like, all right, and my next journey is, and you just kind of move on to the next thing. So it's just kind of being accepting of what it is now, and then move in, and then start, being a mover and a shaker, and journeying, and following your heart, following your intuition, doing what's best for you, and don't let someone else take your power away. Yeah, I think that's the key. Okay. All right. So the next card you got is I find a deeper meaning and personal growth amid the discomfort. Yep. So when we get into our head, or whenever we get uncomfortable, or let's say we're having like a mini dark night of the soul, or something happened that reminds us of something, and it brings us back to a place of hurt or triggering, and so what that does is it gives us a deeper meaning of what's happening, because it brings us to awareness. Like today I had an awareness, like what brings me back to the third dimension. And I don't want to be in that third dimension anymore because there's a lot of suffering. I just don't want to live here anymore. I want to live in the fifth dimension. I want to get out of this matrix. I'm actually going to do a video on this week on how I'm going to ask the divine, how do we get out of this matrix? Because that's what I'm really interested in right now, because that's what's going to empower me. Because once I'm out of this matrix, my life is going to just soar. My life's going to take off. My life is going to be more free, and I'm not going to suffer. And it's not going to matter what other people do. It's not going to affect me. And so they're saying whenever you have some kind of discomfort, you will probably have some kind of personal growth, and you will probably find a deeper meaning in whatever that was. And it will catapult you into a new level. Okay, we also got let go. It says we're always carrying something. Sometimes it's the idea that we should be a certain way, or a memory of when a close friend let us down, or a view of how everyone around us should behave. While holding views and opinions is not intrinsically bad, each one weighs us down in its own way, limiting what we can do and how we can be. Spend a few minutes reflecting on a particular burden you're carrying and play with what it might be like to let it go. And then let it go. Yep. So whatever burden you're carrying, something that's heavy inside of you, something that you feel like you just can't let go of, play around with it in your mind. Think about what it would be like to let this discomfort go inside of you. What would it be like to let go of this thing that you have to have, or this way that you have to have, or like just play around with it. Like what would it feel like to let go of that burden? Just give it to God, or I don't know, give it to the universe, or wrap the violet flame around it, and let it, put it down. You don't even have to put it down forever. Just put it down for now. Pick it up later when it's not so cumbersome. All right. The next card you got is Master Your Life Through the Law of Correspondence. Patterns repeat themselves throughout the universe until it no longer serves us. So these reoccurring patterns help us to recognize where we need to make adjustments in our lives. Yep. So when you see a reoccurring pattern in your life that keeps happening over and over, that's the universe showing us something. And they're like, we're going to keep showing this to you until you make a shift, until you make a change. And that's why they're giving you some discomfort right now, because why would you want to leave the third dimension? Why would you want to shift out of this matrix if it was comfortable? And the divine doesn't want you stuck here in the third dimension. And if you signed up for this, and then I'm thinking if you did sign up for the twin flame journey, then you're definitely signing up to, deprogram yourself and get out of this matrix. And so the master, I'm sorry, the law of correspondence. That's what that's about. The divine needs us to push ourselves, into personal growth and deprogramming. And then once we do that, and once we are, for the most part, it doesn't have to be 100% because we are bridging between Earth, like third dimension and fifth dimension. What I'm channeling is at least 60% of the time on a daily basis. If you can keep yourself there in that fifth dimensional type of, you know, divine archetype, like if you're like you always using your intuition, if you're always allowing yourself to be divinely guided, if you're always about healing yourself, healing your inner child, doing what's right for you, nourishing yourself, then you're most likely mostly in the fifth dimension. And then when you do that, these things that keep repeating itself, that's not always fun, will start to dissipate, will start to drop away, and your life will shift, and these patterns will be no longer. And that will prove to you that you are no longer in the third dimension, that you're breaking out of the matrix. All right, and I like to always pull like a card to ponder on. You can ponder on it or not; it's up to you. But I pulled this card. All people are mirrors to me. What is being mirrored back to me at this time? So it's just something to ponder on. All people are mirrors to me, and what is being mirrored? What is being mirrored back to me at this time? Dot dot dot. So so when you're, it could be your boss, it could be your staff, it could be your coworkers, it could be friends, it could be family. just notice what's triggering you, what's being mirrored back to you. If there's any kind of drama going on, sometimes, and this is especially true with the twin flame, with the twin flame journey. This is especially true because take anything they do that triggers you, anything. So, okay, I'm triggered because they're not communicating with me. So you have to mirror that back to yourself and say, okay, so because we are all one, because that's how to get out of the matrix, we are all one and they are me. So they're not communicating with me. I must not be communicating with myself. And so when you communicate to yourself, that solves that problem, and that will at some point usually you know manifest in the 3D at some point. But you have to learn what that means. Like, what does it mean to communicate to myself? And that doesn't have to be specifically to yourself. It could be to the divine. It could be to all, source. It could be, your, talking to humanity, whatever it means to you, because as within, so without. So whatever's going on inside of you is being reflected outside of you. So if you're rejecting yourself in some way, then you're probably being rejected outside of yourself as a mirror. And then you have to figure out, it's almost like a puzzle. It's not always easy to figure out. And you have to kind of figure out, well, why am I being rejected? How am I rejecting myself? And then, you have to, you know, dig deep and find the deeper meaning, and then you get personal growth. Well, I do hope you enjoyed this video. This reading, of course, again, was just to, help uplift during the week. And, check them all out. I have a whole bunch. I might as well talk since I'm right here. Go ahead and check out. I'm just going to post a whole bunch. And also, I'm trying to post as many videos daily, and I just have so many videos. Most of my videos are all about empowering people. That's all I do. I'm just about like solutions, like what could we do to help each other? What can we do to help ourselves? What can we do to be more empowered, to feel more empowered on this journey? And I'm doing this because it's hard. It's a hard journey. And because I was doing it for myself, I was doing my own readings, and I found it was uplifting for me. And I could be wrong, but I think I might be one of the more happier ones on this journey. Maybe not. Maybe there are lots and lots of people who are happy on this journey. So I am trying to help those who are, not as happy, or who are struggling a bit. And then I know it's, day to day. One day you're good, one day you're not good. Just depends. And it could be minute to minute. As I had a moment this morning, something triggered me. But thank goodness it gets shorter and shorter. Those moments get shorter and shorter as time goes on, because I'm able to snap out of it, because I keep doing these readings and I keep channeling. So the divine keeps helping me. And so finally they said, well, we're helping you, but you need to start sharing it. Like, we're giving you all this information, you need to share it. And so I am sharing it with everyone. And so I do hope it's beneficial. If you do like it, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button. I do post a lot of videos. I try to be a good channel. And then if you're interested in a personal reading, my information is below. I give you love and blessings, love and blessings, love and blessings. It just feels good to do that. I do that to the earth every morning. I just give love and blessings, love and blessings. And anyway, again, check out my other videos, and I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.